up, everybody? Hope all y'all are doing undeniably fan-frickin-tastic out there. It is I, your Grandpoo Booyah, James SelfStandard. And folks, today I want to share some ideas I got circling around in this noggin of mine. For those of you that don't know, yes, I'm a big superhero nerd. I'm a big superhero geek. I love increasing my comic lore knowledge. I can't help it. I just love the whole superhero genre. Now, even though I'm a big Marvel fan and a big MCU fan, these past couple of years I've been trying to increase my love for DC as well. Easier said than done, though. Alright. Mostly because of the movies, but we'll get to that in a minute. It was in turn of trying to increase my DC love where I was able to finally be able to establish a pretty good top 5 DC characters, okay? I mean, I love Dr. Fate now. He's pretty cool. Wouldn't mind seeing something more of him in the future. Of course, Guy Gardner, he's become my favorite Green Lantern of them all. Let's see. Of course, the Joker, he's always legendary. Black Adam, he was pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing more of him in the future. But, definitely, everybody knows I freaking love Lobo. Okay, I freaking love the main man. Anybody that doesn't love the main man, go frag yourself. Alright, now, in regards to Marvel and the MCU, though, they've been able to do something with their films that the DC just hasn't been able to do. Marvel, they've been able to consistently keep a story moving forward. Even if something changes creatively behind the scenes, they still find a way to pivot. DC hasn't been able to do that. DC ends up running into director changes, and they end up running into storyline pivots all the time, but somehow they still find a way to keep their ship moving forward. And unfortunately, DC has not found a way to do that. Okay? In regards to Marvel, again, like, even though they can't contractually acknowledge some universes, they still find a way to reach out their hand and do like a handshake relationship almost, and say, hey, we see you, we acknowledge you, but we're not ignoring you, okay? And that's kind of what has been going on between Marvel and Sony right now. Alright, the Marvel branch and the Sony branch. And heck, for the longest time we couldn't get the Fox branch and the Disney branch connected, but somehow they found a way to do that, and we can address that point in a minute. But yeah, as of late though, DC has not been able to stay consistent with their stories due to so many story changes and director changes and continuity errors, and now this mess is about to get bigger, considering the whole trust issue thing of the whole Warner Bros. And Paramount merger going on, which is possibly on the verge of being denied because, oh, it's going to be bad for the economy. It's going to be putting other competition out of business. Oh, nobody told that to Disney when they was out there trying to buy Marvel, Fox, and Star Wars. Oh, that was perfectly fine though, right? Anyway, right now, DC, it's in a mess. Okay, DC is in a mess right now, and hopefully what I have to say today may be able to clear some things up. I doubt it, but I can dream, okay? Because today I want to talk about how would I save the DCU. Now, one thing we do got to do, though, is we need to work with what we got. Currently speaking, we need to work with what we have, not reach out to something else entirely. So what are we working with right now? Alright, James Gunn has the wheel of this ship. He's the captain. He's the one steering DC in what is supposed to be the next direction. We need to know where we're going with this. Now, I have to respect James Gunn's creative decisions to a little bit, but his execution seems to have been flawed to a degree. Supergirl was a good example of that. And some say that even the Superman movie, without Henry Cavill in it, without being in the Snyderverse, that one was flawed to an extent as well. And you know what? I can kind of see that. But in regards to wrestling terms, not every match is guaranteed to be great leading up to the road to WrestleMania. Like, not every single match, not every single moment is going to be great. But you can bet your bottom dollar that once you get to WrestleMania, something's going to pay off to a degree, and you're still going to get that big pop in the end. Alright? So, our road to WrestleMania would be a new Justice League movie. A new Justice League movie would be the WrestleMania equivalent of what our current state of the DCU is building towards, okay? Something that the Snyderverse couldn't give us right away, and that's a storyline involving Darkseid as the main antagonist. Darkseid potentially being DC's version of Thanos going forward, okay? But before we get there, we need to find a way to potentially work with what we got and see how we can get there, okay? Now, let's see here. I know we have Superman Man of Tomorrow coming out next year in 2027. I know that's coming. I know we also got Lanterns coming up in August. Alright. So this is what we can do. Heck, it's already August. Okay. So, one thing I would love to see Lanterns do is incorporate extra Lanterns lore. One thing I would have to give James Gunn credit for in regards to the Supergirl movie is that he found a way to increase live-action DC lore for the Kryptonians. And to that degree, it kind of paid off. If that was his goal, then it paid off. Alright. So, I want to see this. I want to see the same mentality going into Lanterns. And if they play their cards right, I wouldn't mind seeing extra live-action Lanterns. Okay? Notice, because it's not called Green Lanterns, it's just called Lanterns in general. I know that there's other colored lanterns out there as well. You got the blue lanterns, and you got the black lanterns for death, and of course, you gotta love the red lanterns to an extent. Those of you that don't remember anything of the story lore or the comic lore or whatever, you gotta look how Lobo handled the Red Lanterns when he became a intern Green Lantern to a temporary extent. Also, with Superman Man of Tomorrow coming out next year, and you know what, that's a long title, Superman Man of Tomorrow. Like, I gotta say man twice, why can't I just say Superman of Tomorrow? That rolls off the tongue better. Alright, unless the whole movie's just gonna be called Man of Tomorrow anyway, but that's just me. That's just me. Alright, but yeah, so hopefully with this new Superman movie, we finally start heading in the right direction towards this new Justice League. Now, I tried to break this down into various steps. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to fantasy book different actors to be casted into all these roles. That's not on me. I'll leave the floor open to any of you folks, okay? If you have a casting suggestion, leave it in the comments below. Alright? So, step one in getting the DCU back on track would be give the keys to Teen Titans Go. Yes, I said that with a straight face. Alright? Look. Alright. I gotta address the elephant in the room. Not Beast Boy when he turns into a green one. Hush. Alright. What I mean by that is, alright, I get it. A lot of people for a long time, they kind of didn't like Teen Titans Go that much. And to a degree, I can kind of see where they're coming from. But somewhere along the lines, Teen Titans Go became self-aware. But look, we can't sit here and pretend that the OG Teen Titans cartoon was flawless. Okay? Oh, you don't like the new you don't like the new Teen Titans Go because it's just too cartoony, it's too childish. Dude, look at this shot from the very first episode.
You're bossy, you're rude, you got no taste in music.
Like, this kind of animation existed in the original Teen Titans Go. And look, if it's about the storyline, need I remind you that in the very first episode, Cyborg wanted to leave the team and quit the team in the first 10 minutes? Look, bruh. Okay. Now, besides the point, look, somewhere along the lines, Teen Titans Go became self-aware. Alright? And I don't know what they were doing, but somehow they got the proper attention that they needed. They got such unique writing for them that they became universal for a lot of the storylines that Warner Brothers needed at that time in that role that they were given. Okay? They were aware that they was never going to be the original Teen Titans, but they did a whole crossover movie where they actually did meet the original Teen Titans. Like, they were actually teaming up. TTG and the original Teen Titans, they actually had a movie together. Okay? And that's them paying respect to the original. But also, even besides that, like, they were trusted to find a way to revive Freakazoid. They were trusted to find a way to revive Beetlejuice as well. They were handed the keys to host Warner Brothers' 100th anniversary, where they were giving a tour with almost every other Cartoon Network and Hanna-Barbera character by their side. Like, dude, that is an extreme honor for them. Seriously, it is. Alright. So, the reason I said give the keys to DC's future to Teen Titans Go is because it can kind of be a little bit of a bait and switch, almost. Like, everybody would see this thinking, oh, it's just another Teen Titans Go movie. And we try to, like, you know, reverse the trailer, almost. Like, make the trailer play a little bit of a trick on us. Alright, the trailer's gonna make it look like a bad movie, but when people actually go to see it, like, holy crap, wait, what the heck are y'all doing? Y'all tricked us. Like, we need to go see this. Alright, so, the same way that Marvel gave the keys to Deadpool to drive the Fox car over to the Disney side, we can do the same thing with Teen Titans Go. Alright, give the keys to Teen Titans Go to try to address as much multiversal nonsense as possible. Potentially more multiversal nonsense than Doctor Strange 2 was able to give us. So, in exploring some of these other universes, they can also find a way to establish DCU's future as well. I want to see them visit a live-action version of Batman the Animated Series. That's going to be an important detail coming up. But also, we could finally bring in the Joe Menaggio. I'm hoping I'm saying that name right. We could finally bring in the Joe Menaggio version of Deathstroke, aka Slade, to finally do something. Alright, we can finally find a way to do something. And, like, this movie isn't just going to be strictly cartoon only. No. This movie's going to find a way to incorporate both animation and live action at the same time. Alright, it's going to, on paper, it's going to look goofy, but at the same time, it's going to look a little action-y, and it's going to be very unique. That's the best way I can describe it. Alright, but that moves us on to phase 2. You know what, step 2. I can't even say phases. Alright. So, we do need a new live-action Batman, but this new live-action Batman needs to be a tribute to Batman the Animated Series, but we have to keep Bruce Wayne's actor a secret for the whole film until the end. Like, right now, everybody's doing the same thing with, right now, everybody's wishing that Marvel did the same thing with, Dr. Doom, okay? Because somebody said it recently. Like, there's people out there that's been wishing that Dr. Doom would have been kept a secret for the whole film until we found out it was Robert Downey Jr. later, alright? A lot of us do wish, yeah, it probably would have gotten a gigantic pop throughout the whole film. We can do the same thing to Batman. Look, if WWE can keep secrets from their fans about who a certain mass individual is, then yeah, they can do the same thing to DC. They can. Look, if luchadors and WWE can hide secrets, why can't they do it in a movie? Alright, look. No disrespect to Ben Affleck, no disrespect to Robert Pattinson, heck, even no disrespect to Christian Bale. Alright, but I think we've gone a little bit as far as we could go with the presentation of a overly dark, gothic, brooding Batman universe. Alright, the whole Batman concept has gone a little bit mystery horror almost, and to a degree, yeah, I think we may have overplayed our hand a little bit, and right now every Batman movie seems to be copy and paste. Alright. Now, when I think back, like, I'm not wanting a Batman as goofy as the Adam West era, but at the same time I don't want anything as dark and spooky and mysterious as the whole Robert Pattinson era either. We need something that's like right there in the middle of that sweet spot. And that sweet spot of Batman, that peak Batman, I think I speak for a lot of 90s fans when I say that peak Batman was probably Batman the Animated Series. Alright, now yes, we did have other OG Batman movies back in the 90s, like Michael Keaton, George Clooney, Val Kilmer, but if you look back at those movies today, like, even those movies were a little bit flawed as well. Alright, you look back at those movies and they scream that yes, in fact, they were 90s, okay? But in regards to the universe of Batman the Animated Series, I'm sorry, that's just timeless. Alright, heck, even if you found a way to incorporate current day politics and superhero propaganda into it as well, and heck, even if you add the idea of social media into it, I still think Batman the Animated Series does not change that much. Well, it is just that timeless, and it's hard to ignore that. So, the idea is we need to keep this new Bruce Wayne a secret. Now, the secret Bruce Wayne mentality needs to be kept from the new TCG movie all the way up into whatever this movie may be. Alright. But anytime Bruce Wayne is unmasked, we need to have camera shots of, like, seeing him from behind almost. Now, whenever this actor does get revealed, he is going to break the internet. And somewhere in this video, I'm going to drop a little bit of a hint, but you got to find it for yourself, alright? Consider this that Easter egg that people are trying to find out about a different lore piece or a different future piece, okay? If you see an Easter egg in this video, it's your only hint about who the new Batman actor could be going forward, alright? Because I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want to jinx anything. But, reading off my notes here. But look, I want this new story to involve new Batman villains who haven't had any live-action screen time yet. People like Professor Pig, Hugo Strange, and maybe even Mad Hatter. But look, of course, we got to involve the Joker somehow. Like, he's too big of a hot commodity not to have there. Alright? Joker can be the anchor villain, but you could also have folks like Professor Pig, Hugo Strange, and Mad Hatter involved as well. Like, heck, just Pig, Hatter, and Joker, those are 3 Arkham villains right there. Heck, we could actually have an Arkham Asylum type story going on here with just those 3. But look, the new Joker though, it needs to be David Howard Thornton. Okay? It needs to be David Howard Thornton, aka Art the Clown. And yes, I met the guy. I met the guy in person at a convention last year. But, and heck, as I was like sitting in there waiting for him, of course, the person right in front of me was telling David that he needs to play Joker, and David said, if James Gunn wants me to, then yes, I will. And, bruh, look, I know David has done the Joker himself for like some smaller projects, but David needs this for like a bigger scale. And once David Howard Thorne is made the Joker, one thing I would love to see the new Batman movie do is find a way to let Mark Hamill pass the torch. Okay? I want to see Mark Hamill do a brief cameo scene in this, but let David Howard Thorne's Joker kill him. Alright? Whoever Mark Hamill is playing in this new Batman movie, let David's Joker kill him somehow. Okay? David would be an awesome Joker because I have seen a couple of clips of him as the Joker, and the type of Joker that David Howard Thorne plays is he can be as dark as Arthur Clown if he wants to, but also at the same time he's got that sweet spot where he's found a way to actually tap into a live action dynamic of what the animated series Joker was able to provide.
You see, it doesn't matter if you catch me and throw me back into the asylum. Gordon's been driven mad. I've demonstrated that there is no difference between me and everyone else. All it takes is one bad day to reduce the sanest man alive to lunacy. That's how far the world is from where I am. Just one bad day.
Maybe this new Batman universe can actually give us an extra Robin, but not just any Robin, Jason Todd. Okay? And yes, Jason Todd was also Red Hood, so we can find a way to include him as a protagonist into this thing as well. Alright. But look, here's my rough draft for this new Batman movie, okay? Let's say Joker gets thrown into Arkham before Hugo Strange gets hired. A year later, Joker escapes with Pig and Mad Hatter, but conveniently, killing takes place around Gotham. Batman thinks it's Joker, Hatter, and Pig, but it's actually Red Hood. Alright? But look, at the end, Superman would visit the Batcave to create a Justice League recruitment scene. That's almost like, hey, I wanted to tell you about the Avengers Initiative. That kind of mentality. Alright? But that right there, that will be the moment when Bruce Wayne finally gets revealed. Alright? Now, Phase 3. Somehow or another, we need to find a way to bring back Lobo. Now, I would love a Lobo miniseries, but that could be its own separate story. Alright. But, truthfully, I think he should be a bigger deal and more involved in a movie for Martian Manhunter. Look, for the longest time, I didn't even know who Martian Manhunter was. Okay? The first time I seen him was part of that Justice League cartoon back in the mid-2000s. Like, I could recognize the other characters, okay? Batman, always recognizable. Superman, always recognizable. Of course, I knew that was just Green Lantern, but I didn't know him as just John Stewart, okay? Of course, I knew who Wonder Woman was. Of course, I knew who the Flash was. But I just couldn't understand who that green alien-looking guy was. Looking back, I just couldn't. Alright, I had to look for lore on my own somehow. Alright? So I need somebody to explain to me why a Martian Manhunter movie can't work. But you can make Lobo the main antagonist or keep him alive for a new threat entirely. Alright? Now, not too long ago, I was watching Crisis on Infinite Earths. And yeah, sure enough, for some reason, Martian Manhunter's just in the same room with Lobo, just chilling there for some reason. I don't know why he's there, but sure enough, he's there in general. But yeah, I would love to see a new Martian Manhunter movie with added extra lore. If the Supergirl movie taught us anything, James Gunn isn't afraid of taking us out of the box and giving us extra lore to add on top of our limited knowledge if we didn't have any already. for this Martian Manhunter story, of course, we need to find a way to keep Lobo alive and kicking for future reference, okay? He's too much of an important character to just kill off immediately. I mean, besides, you can't kill him off anyway due to the fact that, oh, he's banned from both heaven and hell. That's a whole different story. Alright. Lobo's going to be extremely hard to kill anyway. But there is one loose end they do need to team up while they're floating around in space. We need to save Peacemaker already. I don't know how they're going to do it, but yet they need to find a way to save Peacemaker. Spoiler alert for those of you that haven't watched Peacemaker Season 2. Peacemaker was left stranded on an alien planet. Alright, Rick Flag Sr. just kicked him out, and yeah, right now I bet his friends are freaking out. They're missing him. So, we need to find a way to save him post-haste. But look, and of course, around the end of the film, shortly after Lobo leaves, Supergirl can return right there and say that, oh, her cousin is making a team, you'll be perfect for it, and then that would be a good idea to go ahead and send Martian Manhunter back to Earth for the Justice League movie going forward. Alright? And now, finally, we can start getting the ball rolling from there with extra DC characters, you know? Heck, get a new Flash in there. Honestly, she's not contractually obligated to stay in line with Zack Snyder's vision, but I wouldn't mind seeing Gal Gadot stay as Wonder Woman. And of course, I wouldn't mind seeing a new Aquaman as well. Alright, no disrespect to Jason Momoa, but even he said that he wants to play Lobo more often. So, a new Aquaman wouldn't hurt anything. Alright, but yeah, I've laid out the roadmap, and hopefully this gives somebody some inspiration about where we could go with this thing, about how we could steer this DC ship going forward. Alright, but yeah, hopefully this helps anybody writing in the future. I doubt it, but hey, that's just me. If I had the pen, this is how I would write it. And again, if some of you have some casting suggestions, leave it in the comments below. I would love to explore the ideas with some of you as well. If you have any extra ideas for the DC Universe, let me know in the comments below, and yeah, we get a spitball, and I would love to see what you would like to see as well. Alright? But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe as well. And yeah, until next time, just remember to be outrageously optimistic year round. Booyah, I'm out.